Hi, welcome to Virtual CB1A. This is Miss Rena, and for this video discussion, we are going to focus on case 2, independent samples. Again, t-test pa rin yung ating test statistics na gagamitin. This is almost similar to the paired sample t-test in the sense na parehas lang ng table na gagamitin and critical values. Okay, so for the assumptions, the samples are taken using simple random sampling and the populations of interest are normally distributed with equal variances. So, dapat assumed na equal yung variances pag ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. And the point estimator is, katulad ng dati natin, mean difference pa rin, which is equal to the difference between mean sub 1 and mean sub 2, where mean sub I is the mean of the observations in the ith sample. Okay. Ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. So, we have, may madadagdag tayo dito. This is the pooled variance. So, pooled variance is equal to n sub 1 minus 1 times s sub 1 squared. Remember that s squared is the variance. And this is called the pooled variance. And it is important to get the pooled variance first before you can get this one. So, ito yung katumbas nung dati nating formula na s over n, square root of s over n. So, we have SE of the mean difference is equal to the square root of the pooled variance times 1 over n sub 1 plus 1 over n sub 2. And medyo mahaba yung formula, so hindi ko nababasahin na. Just look at the values. And for the test procedure, we have the computed value is equal to the mean difference minus the assumed difference over the square root of the pooled variance times 1 over n sub 1 plus 1 over n sub 2. And for the decision rule, same pa rin tayo. T computed must be greater than T alpha over 2 with n sub 1 plus n sub 2 minus 2 degrees of freedom. And for the other one, we have T computed is greater than T alpha of n sub 1 plus n sub 2 minus 2 degrees of freedom. At kapag ka left-tailed naman siya, T computed must be less than negative T alpha of, with the degrees of freedom n sub 1 plus n sub 2 minus 2. Okay? Okay. So, this is for two-tailed, this is for one-tailed right, one-tailed left. This is our example. So, in Stroop's word color test, words that are color names are shown in colors different from the word. The task is to correctly identify the display color of each word. The time needed to complete the test for 16 individuals after they had consumed alcohol and for 16 other individuals after they had consumed placebo drink, flavored to taste as if it contained alcohol will be compared. So, each group was balanced with 8 men and 8 women. So, 8 men and women na nag-consume ng alcoholic drink, at 8 men and women na nag-consume ng placebo drink. So, meron tayong dalawang group. Assuming the samples are independent, and the populations normally distributed with equal variances, the following table shows some summary statistics. Given na tayo with the sample mean and sample standard deviation. So, ang gagawin natin ngayon, i-clear natin yung group. Kasi baka ma-confuse kayo dun sa nakalagay dito na balance with 8 men and women. Baka ang akalain nyo, ang groups natin ay men at saka women. This is wrong. Why? Ano yung groups natin? Ang groups natin ay alcohol at saka placebo. So, yung mga group na inilagay sa alcoholic drink, nag-consume ng alcoholic drink, at yung mga tao na inilagay na nag-consume ng placebo drink. Okay? Okay. So, this time, let's construct our steps for hypothesis testing. So, mag-hypothesis test na tayo. Number 1, so, construct tayo ng HOHA. Generic na lang ulit. So, mean of those who consumed alcoholic drink is equal to the population mean of those who consumed placebo drink. Tapos dito, mean sub A and mean sub P. Ang nakalagay lang dito, the time needed to complete the test for 16 individuals after they had consumed alcohol and 16 individuals after they had consumed a placebo drink flavored to taste as if it contained alcohol will be compared. So, nakalagay will be compared pero hindi sinabi kung sino yung possibly mas mataas at mas mababa. Therefore, this is also a two-tailed test. So, ang gagamitin natin ulit ay not equal. Number 2, maglagay na tayo ng assumptions. So, sa assumptions natin, this is a problem for independent samples, 2 independent samples, and then nakalagay dito, normally distributed. Also, sa assumption natin, may equal variances. Therefore, ang gagamitin nating test statistic ay t-test for 2 independent samples. Okay. So, this time, kunin naman natin yung alpha. Alpha is 0.05 two-tailed. Kasi walang direction yung problem natin. Next, number 4, we have the critical value. So, sabi ko nga, dito, kung hindi natin tanda yung critical values for T, okay lang na gamitin natin si Z. So, Z 0.05, two-tailed. Kasi diba sabi ko, mas madaling tandaan yung Z table ng two-tailed. This is actually 1.96. Okay? Check nyo rin siya dun sa mga dati nating lessons. Okay, isa pang option, pwede nyo rin gamitin yung T alpha over 2 with the degrees of freedom 30. Bakit 30? Kasi n sub 1 is equal to 16, n sub 2 is equal to 16, and the degrees of freedom is equal to n sub 1 plus n sub 2 minus 2. That is, ano to? N sub 1, 16 plus 16 minus 2, which is equal to 30. So, pwede nyo rin itong gamitin. To make it clear, sige, pakita ko na rin yung table. Okay, so ito yung table natin na ginagamit for T distribution. So, we are going to look at area in two tails, 0.05. As I've mentioned from before, kapag hindi nyo gustong gamitin yung table at hindi nyo gustong gumamit ng degrees of freedom, pwedeng dito na lang kayo tumingin. Ayan, dito sa large or dito sa naka-infinity. So, ito siya. 1.960 at 0.05 two tails. But if you want to use T alpha over 2 with the degrees of freedom 30. So, dito tayo, area in two tails, 0.05 pa rin. But the degrees of freedom will be 30. Ayan, ito siya. 2.042. Okay, if you want to be more specific with your critical value. Pero ako, since gusto ko tinatandaan ko na lang at ayoko nang patingin-tingin ako sa table, ito yung ginagamit ko usually. Yung sa Z-table, yung naka-infinity. Okay lang naman kasi yun. Very little lang yung yung difference ng critical values nila. So dito na lang tayo mag-focus sa naka-Z. Okay? Now let's go to number 5. So for number 5, dat pala kinapi ko to. So, sa number 5, magpe-perform na tayo ng computation. Okay, so clear ko lang tong ating sheet. And then, paste ko yung formula together with the computation. Okay, so na-paste ko na dito yung formula natin. And since nagmamadali na, kasi uwian na. Okay, this is actually the computation. So, for the pooled variance, unahin natin ang pooled variance. So, dun sa unang group, meron tayong 16 na respondent. So, 16 minus 1. Ito yon times the sample standard deviation. Remember that the variance is equal to the sample standard deviation squared. So, ito siya, 22.64 squared. Ito yung sample variance natin. Plus, 16 minus 1, because we have 16 participants in the second group, times 12.04 squared, or the standard deviation squared, over the number of samples for the first group, 16, plus the number of samples in the second group, 16, minus 2. Okay? Nasusundan? If you simplify this, you will end up with 328.7656. For the T computed, we have 113.75. That is the sample mean of the first group, minus 99.87. The mean of the second group, minus 0. Bakit minus 0? Wala naman tayong assumed difference, di ba? Balikan natin yun dito. Ayun. So, dito, ang assumed difference natin ay mean sub A minus mean sub P, which is equal to 0. Since wala naman siyang direction na tinukoy at saka wala siyang assumed na difference. Okay, so 0 lang tayo dito. Over the pooled variance, 328.7656 times 1 over n sub 1 plus 1 over n sub 2. Ito yon. Okay, that is equal to 2.1652. So this time, gawa na tayo ng decision. Kukulangin ako sa space. So, mag-a-adjust lang ako dito sa taas. Ito ay 5 computation. 6 decision. Okay, ano decision natin? So, since T computed is greater than, syempre absolute value siya, T alpha over 2 with degrees of freedom 30, pero ang ginamit natin ay Z alpha talaga, that is still okay. So, we have 2. That is 2.1652 is greater than 1.96. If you want to use the value from the table, 2.042, reject pa rin siya. Pwede nyo ring ilagay dito ay 2.042. This is from the T table, ha? And this is from the Z table. Alin man dito sa dalawang gamitin mo, magre-reject ka talaga ng HO. So, reject HO. Paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, parehas niyong pwedeng gamitin, ha? The value from the Z and the value from the T. This time, gawa na tayo ng conclusion. So, conclusion natin at alpha 0.05, there is enough evidence to suggest that there is a significant difference in the mean of the two groups. As I've said before, you can be creative in making your conclusion. Pwede nyo ring sabihin na at 0.05 level of significance, there is enough evidence to suggest that the mean time it took the two groups to complete the challenge are not equal. Pwede rin naman na sabihin nyo na at 0.05 level of significance, there is enough evidence to suggest that the mean time needed to complete the test of the individuals who consumed alcohol is not equal to the mean time needed to complete the test by individuals who consumed placebo drink. Okay? So, kayo yung bahala kung paano nyo ipepresent yung conclusion nyo. As long as ang sinasabi dyan ay magkaiba yung mean ng dalawang grupo, tatanggapin ko yon. Okay? So, thank you for listening and see you next time. Bye!